G'day, my fellow media collectors. I'm Troy, and this is the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide. And today we're looking at the Justice League Warworld, where the Trinity find themselves back in the American Wild West. Okay, so you're saying they're not in the Wild West? Oh, okay. Well, let's go again. Today, we're looking at the Justice League Warworld, where the Trinity finds themselves in medieval times with barbarians and wizards. Okay, so they're not in medieval times either? Okay. Let's go again. Today we're looking at the Justice League Warworld, where the Trinity finds themselves in the noir of 1950s America, where... Well, hang on a minute, so you're telling me they're not there either? Well, if they're not in the Wild West, and they're not in medieval times, and they're not in 1950s America, where the bloody hell are they? This is an animated superhero film that comes in at 89 minutes and was first screened at the San Diego Comic-Con on the 21st of July 2023. It was later released on a DVD, Blu-ray and 4K HD on the 25th of July 2023. The film is written by Jeremy Adams, Ernie Altbacker, Josie Campbell and directed by Jeff Wamester. The film is the 7th film in the Tomorrowverse and the 52nd overall installment of the DC animated original movies line. The film begins with Batman, Wonder Woman and Superman finding themselves in some unfamiliar and precarious circumstances. Stripped of their memories, they must navigate through strange and diverse worlds, each with their own unique challenges, from the Wild West setting to a high fantasy realm and a retro 1950s sci-fi landscape. Our heroes are tested both physically and mentally as they try to uncover the truth behind their predicament between what is real and what is an illusion.
Can't be real.
It is real.
So when it comes to the story and the script, Justice League Warworld, it aims to showcase the Justice League in action. Well, when I say Justice League, it's really only the Trinity that are brought together in this movie. And after years of anticipation, this film does succeed in bringing the characters together. But the film just takes too long to establish the necessary groundwork for this to happen, which ends up resulting in a lack of, how can we put it, significant impact when the long-awaited reunion finally occurs. And the movie's setup heavy approach really delays any sort of momentum building and really sort of dampens the whole overall experience when they kind of finally do get together. So look, to say it's anticlimactic is, oh God, a bit of an understatement actually. One of the unique aspects of this film is its anthology style format, which explores the different genres within this overarching narrative, with Wonder Woman in the Wild West, Batman in medieval times, and Superman in this 1950s noir filmscape. This approach does add some great variety and allows for some really creative storytelling of each of the characters in different scenarios. But it also presents certain challenges, like the movie is only 90 minutes long and is primarily broken up into 4 stories, which sometimes results in some pacing issues, trying to give each story enough screen time, but then also not overstaying their welcome, which at times, look, it did make the film feel longer than it actually is. Look, despite its flaws, Justice League Warworld demonstrates a real creative swing for the fences that should actually be applauded for their attempts, but the reimagining of the story's main villain, Mongol, and Warworld leaves the film's ending, how can I put it, pretty lacking in so many ways. This film's exploration of some new creative takes and bold story choices shows that not everything can be reimagined successfully, leaving us with a film that really soared to great heights at the start, but then kind of fizzled out at the end. And with that, look, I couldn't give it any more than, say, 13 out of 30.
Yeah, I know the resume, son. I lived it. They really threw you in the deep end with your first assignment, huh?
The film was an original story and not a direct adaptation of any specific comic book storyline that I could find, but it does draw a lot of inspiration from the 2022 Action Comics titles Warworld Rising, The Arena, and Warworld Revolution. But for me, this is where this film really fails to deliver in the reimagining of our main antagonist, Mongol, who they changed from this real powerful figure that was, he's formidable and he's very dangerous, to almost this unthreatening, weak-looking parasite of a creature that they managed to take out relatively easy, which, let's face it, Mongol should not be that easy to defeat. Now, I don't know like a real lot about Mongol, but I do know enough that this version as well, this version's shit.
It's true.
Look, which sucks, as the versions of Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman in their different timelines, shall we say, was fantastic. I loved it. And I would love to watch like 3 separate movies of each character in their different scenarios. It'd be fantastic, actually. And also another reimagining that I wasn't overly fussed on was Jonah Hex, as this is another bit of a strange choice, as I thought Jonah Hex was more of like an anti-hero than a downright villain, and it just kind of felt a bit off. But I did like Warlord to see him. He was great to see. But I bet you what, I bet you never thought you would see Warlord in a DC animated movie, because I tell you what, I sure as no hell I was surprised to see him there.
Was certainly a surprise.
Now, if we look at the cast list here, all the usual suspects here for the Tomorrowverse movies, and I find Stana Katic, I hope I got that right, shines as Wonder Woman, delivering it's almost understated yet very powerful portrayal of Wonder Woman, and with that accent it just makes it even better. Then we have Jensen Ackles and Darren Criss as, look, let's face it, they're great as always as their respective Batman and Superman, infusing their characters with a bit of depth and charisma that we've come to know them for. But for me, the one standout has got to be John DiMaggio as Lobo. He absolutely kills it as Lobo and brings such a charisma to the character that you just want to watch him and really nothing else. As I've said before, DC, you need to do this, and you need to do a Lobo movie. I'm just saying, I've said it before, I've gone on the record numerous times. I love that idea. Now, I also love the animation of the Tomorrowverse movies. It's just visually stunning with like this clean and detailed rendering that, as an artist myself, I think it just looks amazing on screen. So with that, there's some good, but we also have some bad. So I'm going to go straight down the middle and give this, a 10 out of 20.
It's hopeless. What good are we against such magic?
Okay, if we look at the cover, how nice does that look? I mean, let's face it, that sucks you in, because it definitely sucked me into watching this movie. And I hate to say it, but then I suppose that's a bit of a skill. Is if you can get a cover that sucks someone into watch a movie, you're halfway there. And of course this one did. I really do enjoy these great painted covers that they've been doing for these. Now, if we look at the side, it's that style with the, I think it's going to be DC Universe, I'm pretty sure, that spells out across the top. I've got a mix of DVD and Blu-ray, so it's kind of a bit higgledy-piggledy if I put it together. I need to all get Blu-rays, of course, but yeah, I think that's a good idea if you put them all together. I don't sort mine that way, but if you do, that's great. And of course on the back, the same thing, really sucks you in, makes you kind of go, ooh, what's going on there? And I think that's the actual draw card of it. So if we look at the disc, well, it's just the basic, just a quick print of the name, doing it on a budget, I'd say. Sometimes I wish they would just put that small little bit of effort and do a color disc, but I'm sure it costs a smidge more, and they're trying to do it for as cheap as they can. But anyway, gotta love the mass produced. Anyway, look, I really like this a lot. Like I said, it sucked me in and got me to want to watch it. And for that, I'm definitely going to give this a 7 out of 10.
How'd you get the face?
Buttressed in the wrong people.
So there are 2 special features on this, and they include Illusions on Warworld featurette, the heroic, the horrible, and the hideous featurette. Now, they're not very long at all, but they give you an insight into the writers and directors' vision for the film and what they were trying to achieve. And I mean, when I say what they were trying to accomplish, yeah, what they were trying to accomplish anyway. Anyway, they're not that long, so it won't hurt for you to check them out if you're interested. And look, with that, because they're only small, they're not too, and there's only 2 for that matter of fact, I'm probably only going to give it a 4 out of 10.
You know the rule when running from a beast. Be faster than the man you're with.
As I bring up the Rotten Tomatoes scorecard, you can see the critics came in at 50%, while the audience score came in 0%. Now, there's something odd about these scores, and there's only 6 critics that have reviewed it, and they're split straight down the middle. You've got 3 that are, how shall I say it, probably industry hacks that praise the movie, and 3 independent reviewers that actually call the movie out for its flaws. But the most surprising part is there's not one single audience review out there, which is very strange, as there are a lot of people out there on the net with a lot to say about this movie. Granted, it's not all great, but there's nothing here, which is really weird. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway, with that, there's not much I can do but round it out to a 5 out of 10.
She's an angel. Glad she's not hurt. Come to save us all.
Okay, to be totally honest, the reason I picked this movie up to review because, hell, I wanted to see a barbarian, a Batman. That's because he looks so damn awesome. And this story with Warlord was actually pretty good. I really liked it. And I was not disappointed in any way, shape, or form. Hell, Wonder Woman in the
Wild Wild West
was great as well. She really seemed to be at home in that story and it was really enjoyable. And the Superman in the 1950s noir Twilight Zone episode-y thing, that part was good as well. Maybe not as good as the first 2, but it was still pretty good. Like, I enjoyed it. But the final act with our real main villain and the story behind it all was, well, it was terrible for me. God, I must have missed something because I'm still trying to remember what the whole point of it was. And, you know, other than getting the Trinity together to start off for the Infinity Crisis. And what about that?
Hey, trust me, I'm just as shocked as you are.
How did we get to an Infinity Crisis already? The Justice League has only got together, and it's only the Trinity so far, and now we're having a bloody Infinity Crisis? Jeez, talk about rushed things. But in saying that, this movie was rushed as well, especially the end of the film, which tries to get there quicker than it should, resulting in the end of the movie being a, shall we put it, an over-convoluted mess that was rushed and left a disappointing end to an otherwise pretty good film, actually. I just have to say, I have so many mixed feelings about this movie, with some good and some bad. It manages to really nail some things in this film, but then fails terribly on others. It's one of the most mixed bags of movies I've ever watched in a long time. So look, because of that, I'm going to do, as before, I'm going to shoot straight down the middle because it's a bit 50-50 and give it, you guessed it, a 10 out of 20.
Are you ready to uphold truth, justice, and the American way?
Okay, if we look at collectability, I'm going to say, look, I'm going to put it in the middle of the range. Like, if you're not a fan of the story, you don't necessarily need it. But look, if you're collecting DC, if you're collecting the Tomorrowverse, if you're just a superhero fan, yeah, you do need it in your collection. There's no two ways about it. But if you're not that picky about it, as far as wanting like a bit of a completionist or whatever, then you probably necessarily don't have to have it if you're not a fan of it. And as far as availability goes, I'm definitely putting this on a 1 because, let's face it, it's only been out for about 6 months. It's not hard to find a copy of either Blu-ray, DVD or 4K HD out there, so you will have no trouble picking up a copy on eBay or at your local retail outlet. So your average price, you are looking at somewhere between around the $10 to $22 mark for a DVD. If you're going to go the Blu-ray option, you're looking at anywhere from $15 to $32. And of course, for the good old 4K HD, you are looking at somewhere between $29 to $74. A little pricey there as of this video. Now, for the final score, we're getting a grand total of 49 out of 100. Well, there you have it. Straight down the middle, which I think sums this movie up so well. 50% was great, and 50% was, well, shit. You should still check it out, even if it's just to see, Bruce Wayne, the Batbarian.
Welcome to my home. Welcome to Shambhala.
Hey, so if you like this video, you want to see some more of my reviews, why don't you click that one there? Or maybe you want to see some of my collection updates. Got you covered too. Why don't you click that one there? And of course, don't forget to do the most important thing. Throw me a like, and don't forget to hit that subscription button on the way out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.